It's Wednesday, July 27th. Thomas Miller, welcome into Hump Day. Hey, we're going to take on a listener question today that I think is great. We'll talk about that. Let's look up in the sky just for a quick peek. We've got one of those fiery trines going on today. We have Mercury in Leo, trining Chiron in Aries. Whenever Mercury comes up with one of these kind of dealing with our stuff planets, I always like to think about what am I telling myself, or what kind of self-talk do I have going on? You know, Chiron represents that unhealed wound, or those areas that just keep coming up over and over in our lives. So you could use today as a little pause and reflection, especially if one of those things comes up. Then you could be thinking about what you're telling yourself, what is your internal dialogue, or Mercury, knowledge, right, the mind. What do you, quote-unquote, know about this situation that maybe if you unknew it, unlearned it, you might be better open to new solutions, new perspectives, even new beliefs. So it's a great day for that kind of self-reflection. Now, as promised yesterday, Joanne, hit it.
Hi, Thomas. What does it mean when you say a planet is afflicted? Or what does it mean when a planet is strong?
All right, great question, Joanne. Thank you so much for listening. Let's take this on. All right, so you look at the astrology wheel. You see pieces of the pie. Those are obviously the houses, so that's kind of where the location of where the corresponding drama, if you will, takes place. Each house is ruled by a sign that gives that house a flavoring, a seasoning, decoration, if you will. And then scattered around the chart are the various planets, and they are really the stars of the show, no pun intended. They're the actors on the stage. If we were on Broadway and the curtain went up and there was a particular scene, that scene would be the houses. Are we at the bank? Are we at home? Are we at the job? Are we traveling? Are our kids involved? Are we at the hospital? Or maybe even the graveyard? All represented in that wheel, all the aspects of our life. The planets would be akin to the actors and actresses. And then the characters they're playing, the costumes they're wearing, their mannerisms and behaviors that are different from the actor or actress themselves. They're playing the role. Those are the signs. Now, one of the planets, one of the actors, is grumpy. Why would one of the actors or actresses be grumpy? So that's Joanne's question. Now, what we start with is there another actor or actress that's bearing down on it? So when a planet has another planet that is aspecting it, in other words, in some kind of geometric alignment, that aspect will make things easier for the planet to express itself or more difficult. Yes, make it stronger or afflicted. So, for example, Venus, we've been talking about Venus this week. If all of a sudden Saturn is sitting right on top of Venus in the sky, Venus is struggling with some things. But when a planet is more positively aspecting Venus, for example, like right now, Mars in a sextile. Yesterday, I encouraged you guys to be a little romantic. Mars rules Scorpio, the ancient ruler of Scorpio. Sex, Venus in the home sign with the moon. Love, passion, romance. They're in an easy aspect. So that's where I was like, this is a no-brainer. So you see how one planet can either afflict, cause conflict and tension with a conjunction, in some cases, a square, or an opposition, or a quincunx, or what's known as an inconjunct, tense aspects, or either through a conjunction again, even sometimes an opposition, a sextile or a trine, two planets could be working together easily, favorably, amicably. Now, the other way that a planet could be afflicted or strengthened is depending on what sign it is in. Same concept. Is it easy for the planet to express its personality and itself and be itself? Or is it walking on eggshells? For example, the sun right now is at home. It's in Leo. It expresses itself with perfect compatibility with that sign. However, across the way, On the other side of the chart is Aquarius. Well, the sun isn't so happy over there, so it's known as in detriment. It's the opposite to the ruling sign. It's a terminology the ancients gave by simply observing that sometimes when a planet was in the opposite sign from the one that it ruled, things got more difficult. Now, if you were sitting talking to Steve Forrest, he would just say, well, that's all part of your evolutionary soul journey, and those tensions are things that they're like cables that we ride to higher ground. There's no detriment to it. There's just progression. It's all on a journey, and we have our easier times and we have our more challenging times. It's part of life. That's a very valid interpretation as well. The ancients also attributed signs where the planet was compatible. So, for example, with the sun again, Aries. It's hot, it's fiery, it's ruled by Mars. Let's burn it up, right? And then the opposite sign of Aries is Libra. So when the sun crosses into Libra, the ancients would say that it was in fall. I've always kind of had a challenge with that, especially with the sun, because I know a lot of Libras, and you do too, and they are wonderful people. However, if we start interpreting things like horary astrology, for example, and all of a sudden we're extruding and elaborating, and that sun is in Libra, there might be some areas particularly related to a relationship that might come under challenge. But this is why I think the best way to look at astrology is exactly like you're looking at a coin. There are two sides. Heads, let's say, is the positive side, tails is the negative side. You can either flip the coin and let it be random, or you can choose which side you're going to play on. And that's where I say if we keep evolving ourselves to where we play in the positive side, then we're going to be living a kind of energy that will allow us to experience all of the fullness of life from the perspective of always the glass is half full, or like we like to say around our Facebook page, what if up? What if up? What if it all worked out up? Hope that helps. You guys have a great day. See you tomorrow.